Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a historical narrative that completely shatters our modern expectations of karma and, well, getting an immediate reward for doing good. We're looking at a story that asks a profoundly uncomfortable question about the true nature of integrity. And it tests it not when life is just smooth sailing, but when literally everything is on the line.
So here's the jarring paradox we're starting with. What if doing the right thing destroyed your life? Think about that for a second. What if choosing the moral high ground didn't result in a pat on the back or a sudden stroke of good luck, but actually brought about your complete ruin? To unpack this, we're looking at the life of Joseph. His story contains one of the most inspiring and honestly challenging accounts of integrity in human history.
Part 1. Character in the shadows.
You know, we often think of character as something that's revealed in these giant cinematic moments of crisis, but actually, it's built in the mundane. It's built in the shadows, long before the real fire comes. Just look at Joseph's timeline. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and dragged far, far away from the home he loved. He ends up in Egypt, serving in the house of a highly powerful official named Potiphar. Now, by every human measure, Joseph had every right to become incredibly bitter, maybe dishonest, or just start looking out for number one. But instead, he worked faithfully. He didn't let his terrible circumstances determine his character. He let his choices dictate it, honoring God even when no one else was watching. And that dedication? It earned his master's absolute, total trust.
Potiphar trusted Joseph so completely that he put him in charge of his entire household. Seriously, nothing happened without Joseph's oversight. He had consistently shown honesty, diligence, and wisdom, and things were actually looking up. In fact, he had control over absolutely everything, except for exactly one thing, and that was Potiphar's wife.
Part 2. The ultimate test.
The greatest test of Joseph's life wasn't the hard labor, and it wasn't the poverty of slavery. It actually came right when things seemed to be going really well. And it came in the form of temptation. Potiphar's wife noticed Joseph. The historical text actually notes he was handsome and well-built, and she became completely determined to seduce him. Now, she wasn't just a casual annoyance. She was powerful, she was influential, and relentlessly persistent, demanding his attention day after day after day. And let's be real, on a purely human level, giving in made total sense. If you break it down, the justification for a secret decision was incredibly strong because it was highly unlikely to be discovered. His focus could easily have just been self-preservation. Plus, remember his status here. He was a slave with very little control over his own future. Refusing a powerful master's wife carried an enormous, literally life-threatening risk. So giving in could have easily been justified as mere survival.
But Joseph saw the situation completely differently. This brings us to what true integrity really is. It's choosing what is right, even when secrecy makes wrongdoing seem completely safe. He reminded her that her husband trusted him with everything except her. But more than that, he asked, how then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? So you see, his choice wasn't about the fear of getting caught. It wasn't about avoiding earthly consequences. It was rooted in a deep, unwavering commitment to God's standards.
When we contrast these two paths, we really see the timeless nature of his example. Compromise promises comfort, pleasure, or advancement, right? It whispers that secrecy makes wrongdoing completely safe. But on the flip side, integrity is all about honoring what is right. Joseph understood that every hidden decision, every single secret choice, shapes the exact person we are becoming. Character is built one choice at a time, especially when those choices are invisible to absolutely everyone except God.
Part 3. The breaking point and fall.
Because the thing is, temptation rarely gives up after a single rejection. It hopes that exhaustion or loneliness or just pure discouragement will eventually wear you down. Joseph tried to avoid even being alone with her. He knew that wisdom isn't just resisting temptation, it's avoiding unnecessary opportunities for it in the first place. But eventually, the persistent temptation trapped him. One day, all the household servants were gone. Joseph was in an empty house with Potiphar's wife, and she makes her final move. She grabs him by his garment and literally demands that he sleep with her. Now, this happens incredibly fast. He doesn't stay to negotiate, he doesn't try to argue with her, he makes a split-second decision and just flees. He runs so fast he actually leaves his cloak behind in her hands. Because sometimes the absolute strongest display of courage isn't staying to fight, it's knowing exactly when to walk away. He valued his integrity over his comfort, his position, and even his reputation.
But man, that immediate action had a severe and immediate cost. His reputation was instantly destroyed.
Humiliated by his total rejection, Potiphar's wife completely weaponized the situation. She used that abandoned cloak as false evidence. She accused him of attempting to assault her, and she spread these horrific lies to the entire household and to her husband long before Joseph ever even had an opportunity to defend himself.
Naturally, Potiphar was furious. And the result? Joseph was thrown straight into prison. From a human perspective, doing the exact right thing utterly ruined his life. Think about how heavy that is. Joseph lost his hard-earned freedom not because he sinned, but precisely because he refused to sin.
Part 4. A timeless lesson.
This really challenges a common expectation we all kind of share today, doesn't it? That doing the right thing brings an immediate reward. But this story forces us to look at the uncomfortable reality that faithfulness does not protect you from false accusations or painful consequences. Integrity came with a steep cost. And let's be honest, every single generation faces these exact kinds of moments where dishonesty appears incredibly profitable. Students are tempted to cheat just to get the grade. Employees are heavily pressured to hide the truth just to save the company. Business leaders see shortcuts to gain wealth through deception. And relationships constantly present situations where loyalty is tested by temptation. In every single one of these scenarios, shortcuts promise success.
Part 5. The legacy. Now, despite his circumstances changing so drastically, Joseph's character remained totally constant. And it leaves us with this profound truth. Temporary success gained through wrongdoing is never worth sacrificing lasting character. Sure, your reputation might be damaged by false accusations. Massive opportunities might literally vanish overnight. People might completely misunderstand your motives, but integrity produces something that no one can ever purchase or steal, and that is a clear conscience before God.
And history actually shows us the ultimate payoff here. While Joseph sat in a dark prison cell, God had not abandoned him. You see, integrity is an investment, and its greatest rewards are often delayed. The prison was absolutely not the end of his story. God used even this immense suffering to eventually elevate Joseph into one of Egypt's greatest leaders, fulfilling a much grander purpose. His faithfulness was never wasted. Those chains couldn't imprison his integrity, and false accusations couldn't erase his purpose.
So in every situation where dishonesty looks like the easy way out, integrity asks one exact question. Will you do what is right, even when it costs you? Because true success is measured by faithfulness when no one else is watching. If this explainer encouraged you to stand firm in your values, be sure to follow us for more. Just remember, integrity may cost you today, but it builds a legacy that lasts forever.